Hello, first graders. I want to talk to you more about plural words and how to take a word from a singular and turn it into a plural. Remember that we learned on Monday that when a word is singular, it just means that there's one thing. So one shoe or one marker or one book, and then to turn it into a plural would mean that there's more than one of that thing now. So maybe there's two books and you put an S at the end. Or maybe there's two shoes and you put an S at the end. But remember that there are some words where you have to add more than just an S. Most of the words you're just going to add an S, but a lot of words too you have to add an ES, or sometimes if it ends in a Y, you're going to do the Y drop rule. And when you drop the Y, you replace it with IES. So let's take a look at some of what we learned from our last video on Monday. So I'm going to start with some words that have the S, where all you're going to need to do is add in the S. So up here is my words that are just going to have to add an S. So many words like truck, dog, cat, and car, all you have to do for these words is add an S at the end. So to take the word truck, if there's more than one, you would change it into trucks. If there's two dogs, you want to add the S at the end and change it from dog into dogs. Same with cat. If there's more than one cat, if there's three cats, you have to add an S at the end and change that word into cats. And then car, we have two cars in our garage, so I would want to say that we have two cars and add an S at the end. So remember that there are many, many words that all you have to do is add an S at the end, like we did here with truck, dog, cat, and car. All of those just need an S at the end. Now, the rule is it changes a bit if you have to add the ES. And so if the word ends in CH or SH or one S or two S's, or if it ends in an X or a Z, that's when you're going to add an E and the S, okay? So if the word was fox, it ends in an X, and that's one of the ones that we need to pay attention to. If it ends in an X, you're going to make this word fox is, foxes, okay? So if it ends in an X, like this word does right here, you're going to add ES to it. Lunch, this word ends in a digraph CH. That's one of the ones we need to pay attention to. It ends in a CH, so you're going to take an ES, take the word lunch, and turn it into lunches when there's more than one lunch. Like at school, in our lunch bin, we had so many of you who brought home lunch, so our bin was full of lunches, more than one, okay? This is another digraph. It ends in SH. Look up here. It says if it ends in an SH, you have to add ES. So if there was in our backyard, if we're going to plant a bush, maybe then we decide we want three, we're going to call it bushes. More than one bush would be bushes. And it ends in an SH, just like we said up here. Ends in an SH, you're going to make it bushes. Okay? Now, the next one is dress. It ends in double S. Even if it ended in just one S, you have to add an ES. So in my closet, I have lots of dresses. I have more than one, so I'm going to make it a plural by changing the ending to be dresses, ES. So this one you have to really pay attention. If it ends in a CH or an SH or an S or a double S or an X or a Z, you're going to change these into ES, adding ES. Foxes, lunches, bushes, dresses, ES, okay? Now, on the other side here, I've got the Y drop words. So when you have a Y at the end of the word, you're gonna have to drop that Y and you're gonna replace it with IES. So these are just three words that end in Y. Now, let's say that it's we're playing outside and we notice that there are flies around us. They're flying around. To change it from one to more than one, you drop the Y and you change it to IES. Now, this shows a plural that there are more than one and there are lots of flies. Okay? Baby, we talked about this word on Monday. If you went into the hospital and you went to the newborn unit where all of the new babies are, you would see lots. You would see more than one, so it would be plural. Y drop, and then add I-E-S. Babies. Now there is more than one. Babies. That means it's plural. Okay? Bunny. If there's more than one bunny outside, if you see 3 bunnies or 2 bunnies, you're going to drop that Y and you're going to replace it with I-E-S. Okay? If it's singular, you leave the Y. If it is plural, you drop the Y and you add I-E-S. Okay? All right, one last thing I want to go over with you. I'm going to share my screen like I did on Monday. We're going to go through one thing together, and then we are going to practice a few more of those plurals. All right, here we go. Okay, so we're going to talk more about singular versus plural. So remember that we are learning that if it is singular, it means one thing. If it's plural, that means that there's going to be more than one, okay? So singular is on this side and plural is on this side. I'm not sure if you can see it over here, but it says the same thing. This left column is for singular, and then we're going to put our plurals on this side, okay? So let's go through some of these together. All right, I'm going to pick this one first. This is a dress. How many dresses do you see? One. I only see one dress. That means it is singular, okay? So I'm going to put the singular picture right here. And to write this, it would be like this, dress, okay? Just one, all right? Now, to make it into a plural, that would mean there's more than one. So do you see the picture over here that shows more than one dress? Here it is, dresses. This is a word, just like we learned in the last, on my whiteboard over here, this is one of those rules where if it ends in double S like this, you have to add another ES. So to make this word a plural, we don't just add an S, we have to add an ES. And so that will look like this, dresses, okay? Dresses, more than one. That was kind of a longer word there, okay? Dresses. Let's look at another one. Here we have a fox. Just one fox by himself. That means it is singular, okay? Singular, we'll put it on this singular column over here. Fox, if it's one, is spelled F-O-X. Now, remember the rule, just like dresses, if it ends in an X, you're going to make it plural by changing the ending to ES. That's one of those where it's going to need to be ES. So here are the foxes. Foxes. We're going to change that, making it into a plural. It's one of those where you have to pay attention. It ends in an X. To make it into a plural, it would look like this. Fox is, ES. Okay? Now let's keep going. Here is a frog. One frog, singular. If it's one item or one object, it is a single object. It is singular. Frog is just going to be frog, spelled like this. To make it into a plural, this is one of the easier ones where all you have to do to make this into plural is add an S. It doesn't end with an X or a CH or an SH. It's just a G, and that means that it's pretty easy. We just change it by adding a S. Frogs, multiple frogs, plural, we add the S at the end. Okay, let's do the next side over here. I'll start with this bat. This is like a baseball bat, just one, so it's singular. Whoopsies, hold on a second. Put that back over here. Hold on a second, I gotta get this back over here. All right, let's try that again. So singular, we're gonna be over here on this side. Let's try that bat again. Let me pull it over. There we go, bat, one bat. It is singular. So that is going to be spelled bats. All you do for this one is add an S at the end, bats. Whoops, sorry, bat, one bat. Now we can do the multiple bats. That's going to be our plural. That one is going to be spelled bats. More than one. All you have to do for that one is just add an S. That's one of the easier ones. You don't have to add ES or IES, just an S. Okay? All right, we have peach. I'm hearing at the end of this word that it sounds like there is a digraph at the end. Listen carefully. Peach, peach. It ends in a CH. So this one is going to be one of those words where we're probably going to have to add an ES to make it into a plural. Here are the peaches. You can kind of hear it when I say it too. Peaches. Now for peaches, since it does end in a digraph, this is going to be one of the words where we change it and we make it a plural by adding ES. That's a really long word. It doesn't even want to fit on the line there. Peaches. It ended with this CH right here, so we added an E and then the S. All right, last one, we have a clock. Singular means one object. It goes on the singular side, just one clock. And then on the other side, we'll put the plural where there's two clocks. And that's another easy one. It doesn't end in an S or an X or a Z or a CH or an SH or a Y. So all we do here is add S, clocks. Okay? All right, you guys. So that is going to be our lesson today on singular and plural. And I want you to remember some of those rules that we've talked about. So if it ends in a Y, you're going to drop the Y and put IES. If it ends in an CH, SH, S, double S, X or Z, then you add ES, okay? And then if it's any other type of word, you're just gonna add an S, all righty? So you'll have to really pay attention to the endings when you're making a plural. All right, bye first grade.